Again, check your local laws. This is not going to be legal for you guys to use in every single setting. Trust me. Get an idea of the scale and the size of this. This is I don't know if this is a 10-pounder, but it looks to me about a 10-pounder. Look at my hand, the size of it. Like the eye is the size of my thumb. Loose Lois in the drink. Oh, whoa, jeepers! Successfully launched. Dude. Oh, she barely fits in the net. Okay, let's go. Come on, Lois, into your new home. Go, be free. Holy smokes, that's a big fish. I hope you guys can see her swim off. Where's she gonna go? Sit on the bottom? She's never had this much room in her whole life. I think Clark Spence over there, actually.
Yeah, have a look at
that. I think that's Clark Spence. Okay, Clark Spence in there, guys. There, Clark Spence gonna go. There's Clark Spence. Holy smokes, that's a big fish. A couple more left, Kevin said. So we'll say it's about 110. 110 fishes. Well, good morning, guys. It's another beautiful day at the off-grid. But today we're doing something that we have had to do. We've been looking forward to doing since we put the fish in the pond, and that's to take them all out. I also want to test out some survival tools. So we've got a whole plethora of Temu survival gear that is normally illegal. So be careful how you guys use this. This is a private pond and I'm harvesting my fish that I own. And so the rules apply differently to me, thankfully. And that's part of the reason I got this pond, so that I can do all these really cool experiments. The water is looking ultra clear. We have about 100 fish left in here. I've been taking one fish out a week and eating it throughout the season. You would not guess that there's 100 fish in there. Now, whether I can get them out through bow fishing, I don't know, but I've got my spin tackle gear as well. I've also got a ton of different gill nets I'm going to try out. And we're going to try to get every single fish out. And as you know, we put a 15-pound rainbow trout in. We called her Loose Lois because she was a spawned out hen. And we've also got Clark Spence. They survived as far as I know. Whether we're going to be able to get these fish out, I have no idea. Like I said, I have been hard at work grabbing as many fish as I can throughout the season, but today is D-Day. So let's test out this equipment and see which survival equipment works best. And this stuff is ultra inexpensive. Part of my goal this year was to try to catch a fish out of the pond by having a good enough water quality for the bowfish. So I think this would work too. Active fishing technique, which is the spin rod. My goal here is to catch a 15-pound rainbow trout. I want to grab Lois out of here. That's the goal. Float, you can see the log jam down there, the trout jam. That worked really good. It might be hanging out under there, I don't know. Oh, there's it. There's a fish. There we go. Now we got one. Oh, we're gonna get a good fight too. I'm gonna try to beach him. There, we gotta beach him. There we go. Yeah, we foul hooked him. One fish down. About 99 more to go. Finally, one of the small ones. Fire bait from Podski. We're gonna drop that down right to the middle because we know there's no snag hazards down the middle. It's just a mud bottom. There we go. That's a fish. First cast on the new strategy. This medium. Still no sign of Lois or Clark. Clark Spent too. You see them, they're nice and chunky, that's for sure. 98 fish left to go. You can see them just below the surface there. They're actually waiting for the feed to go down in the water column. So I'm gonna kind of just be shooting at shadows here. They're just not coming up. Come on, fish. So bow fishing as a survival strategy is really gonna depend on whether you can actually see fish or not. It's a sinking feed too, so there was one. Sinking feed. They're just not going for it. So I got these little carp baits, which is actually kind of neat because it self-closes. The only issue is that the pellets are just slightly smaller than the meshing, so it's falling out. and it's all just meshing, but it's very lightweight. It would be super easy to port this. Now the question is whether a trout is going to go in there. My guess is no, a trout is not going to go in there, but you never know. I think this would work really well for crawfish, minnows, smaller fish, perch, crappie, sunfish, you know, all the tiny fish. Oh, that's a perfect throw. Do we have enough rope to get all the way down to the very bottom? Passive fishing technique. This is like a $2 item. You could easily buy like 10 or 15 or 20 of them. Like I say, check your local laws, because I think if somebody found you with this, you would be in trouble. It's a dangly fish net. I don't know if that's how I want to use it. Do I want to like try to catch fish with this? It's just a loop of...
It's a hammock.
It's a hammock. It's a fish hammock. Sufficient enough to work. Like, what if I put a float on there and it kind of just hovers? I want it like spread out, right?
Yeah.
Fishing float. So let's cast it out there. We'll leave it there. Not super confident. I was hopeful on that one, because that's a small package. You could just easily grab it.
I think it needs like a weight and a float.
Yeah, it's got to have floats. It's got to come out. It's got to be stretched.
Yeah, a weight and a float.
Well, wait till we get into the big guns. We're just started here.
For like whale fish.
I might get a fish in there because it's got heavy weights on the bottom. I might trap a fish.
That's like, you got to put that on your arm.
Well, that's so you don't lose it.
Well, yeah, but like, what if it, like, you get a really, really big fish?
Every time. Dude, I've caught 2 fish with the rod and reel so far, and I've caught nothing with the survival stuff. Oh, there is such a way to throw this, but...
I want to see it just like National Geographic. It's going to cast out there. It's going to like be a big circle, spin like a top, and then you just cast it away.
But how does it flick out?
Oh, you got to flick it.
What do you mean? Like,
if you're going to fail fast.
Like a bit in your mouth, and then you have to spin around, and then it fans out. But...
Sounds like ripping out your teeth.
Oh, ropes. Okay, ready?
Well, oh, it tightens itself.
Yeah. You get a nice fanned out, and just goes.
That was linear.
No, it's fun too much.
Oh, that was a good one. That was your best chance.
Let's see if...
See, you didn't spook all the fish with that. Yep, you hooked it on the bin.
For the love of Pete.
What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. All right, well, small interlude while we rescue the most expensive survival fishing tool that I have. All right, well, I thought that would work better than it has. All right, on to survival tool number 3. There's going to be ice fishing these fish out. You really, if you goof it, that's it. And this is a one-time use net. Again, like I said, you got to be really careful on winding this. You got the floats on the top. Whether they're strong enough, we don't know. Got sinkers on the bottom. Here, I got some more Princess Auto cord. I'll let you do it.
Here, grab this one.
I'll just grab both here. If this was frozen, we just put 2 holes and then drag it across, or dig a channel and drop it in.
Well, you want?
No, that's pretty good.
You want to know the start though? Where's the start?
Well, it doesn't matter. The floats don't want to hold it up, which I think is a kind of a tendency with this stuff. Go up a little higher, and then we can just drop it in. It's going to make sure the bottom fans out. Oh, that works really good. Oh, this works really good. Perfect. Okay, so that's...
I feel like you should put something heavier on
it. It'll sink. When you get a fish in there, it's going to sink all the way down to the bottom. Like, it's going to drag down. Oh man, these fish are in trouble. All right, so what do we got? We just got to loosen it off.
Yeah, I could have loosened mine.
All right, go ahead, loosen yours. I'm going to get the camera ready because we want to see... I want to see those fish swimming in there. So Kevin's going to lower it. Hopefully you don't have to both do that at the same time, but we'll find out. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty good if I get a good angle. We've got probably 3 feet of depth, about 4 feet maybe. Ideally it was like 10 feet. And then as one fish gets in there, more fish are going to get in there because fish are dumb and curious. So if they see one kind of fish struggling, they're going to rush in there, be like, what's going on? There's something going on. And then they're going to get tangled up, and it's just going to keep going and going and going until the effectiveness of the netting declines because it's going to get wrapped and rolled up. So there's a finite number of fish you can catch. Oh, I don't know about this one. I know this will work with, it'll work with the right fish. Trout don't seem to enjoy it too much, but I gotta get the kayak because I gotta re-rig this gill net so that it functions a lot better. We're fighting the cold now. Let's see what we can do. Little links of chain, and we got a bunch of zip ties here. But everywhere there's a little split shot, we're gonna add a weight. So that's gonna help it sink a little bit better here. I watched the Aqua View last night just to kind of see what was going on as far as fish activity went. The fish were at a depth of about, let's say 3 to 6 feet off the bottom. Oh, golly. Get on this net while it's not windy. That's the trick. Alright, this should be the last one. I think that'll be all we need. Last one here.
Yeah, I can see the line moving.
Yeah, the line is moving.
Something's in the net.
Okay. It's not getting out.
I caught a fish.
I got a fish, man.
Don't see it?
Oh,
No.
struggling.
Because we think, do you see
Pull
something?
I saw fish.
You're pulling towards
Just right at the bottom. I just saw a little bloop came up.
the action. I can feel the action on the rope.
Well, you might have more than one in there.
Yeah.
They're dumb if they're swimming in a straight line, right? They'll all follow until they realize that there's something seriously wrong.
Oh yeah. No. There's when you did you just create tension there?
Yeah.
Like you could see it pull up.
I think I got 4.
4?
I say 4 because I know there was 2.
They doubled? Well, I can feel them. Like you can see them jostling the rope.
Oh, we got him. There we go. We got one. Is there 2? No, there's 2. There's one behind it too.
Yeah, there is.
See
That's
the
a new
shadow
one.
behind it?
Yeah.
But you can tell when they first get in there because you start feeling on the line.
Yeah. Well, this one's like maybe your 3rd fish now.
Oh, there's the chain. All right. So where do we?
There's the chain.
So
there's the
for
line.
You
if
just
we're
went
Keep
past
coming,
the camera,
just
you're
keep
good.
coming your way.
I think you're clear of the camera there.
Yeah.
If you go right there, I leave it right where it is.
yeah,
And
we'll see them.
You should be good.
we see them swim in.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Straight back.
you tie yours off, Kev.
I go to the middle leg.
And it's stuck too. So this is gonna be a bit of a chore. I feel a heavy weight on there. Watch out, Frankie, get off there. Frankie's on the rope. I wonder if Lois, laying Lois is on there or Clark Spent. That means there was enough fish in weight to go to tear it all the way apart. But there feels like there's a ton, an absolute mess of fish on the end of that line. Oh, there's a mess of fish.
There's all your net. There's all your fish.
There we go.
You're actually going to see a fish enter the frame on the lower left side and get caught in the net. You see it right there. It just swam in and now it's entangled in the mesh. And I just want to point out that, you know, not every size mesh is going to work with fish. And I'm going to give you some examples here because we do see some fish swim by, even bump into the net without getting caught. And so when you're picking a gill net for survival, you definitely want to match the size of the fish that you're trying to catch with the size of the opening. So this mesh was actually kind of interesting because one side had a small size gill net and the other side had a larger size. But the fish has to approach from the right direction. So here's some other fish kind of swimming about and around. But as I said, that net is traveling from the left side of the frame all the way across the way to the right side. So these fish are either too high or too low. Here's one that kind of dodges it, moving from left to right and center to right. And then here's some other fish kind of bumping into the net and then realizing that it's a little bit of a problem right there and then turning away. So that fish actually bumped into the net and then moved out of the way. And if you want to rewind, you can actually see where I dropped a bunch of food down to the bottom. There's a big bait cloud that just dropped all the way to the floor. And here's an example of what the fish react once they're in the net. They basically thrash around and then become more and more entangled the more they move. And this basically destroys the net, so each gill net has a little bit of a lifespan. You can increase the longevity of the net by using some stronger gauge monofilament. This is like probably 4-pound test, I would guess, so it's easy to remove the fish, but it's also it makes a big mess, and that's not something that you can really protect. But gill nets really do have a lifespan. And now what's really interesting here is we have a massive fish swim by, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit, and then I'll put up a still frame image of Lois, and you guys can let me know if you think this is Lois. I have compared this fish to all of the other fish, and it is a big fish. Whether it's Lois, we'll have to continue on this saga to try to track her down. I don't think that gill net had the right size to catch her, but I was hoping.
Well guys, there's the sperm sac. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything like that, but there's actually eggs. There's about a handful of eggs mixed in with the sperm sac. No takers?
No takers.
Grant, you gonna?
No, I'm just gonna concentrate on thawing my life.
You don't want the vigor of the fish? No? When you eat the brains of an animal, you inherit the intelligence of the fish.
Oh yeah?
So you eat the nuts and the sperm, and you the virility and the vigor. No?
I've gotten enough trouble and vigorous.
You're too vigorous?
Yeah.
Like the Bass Pro shirt you got on.
Yeah,
Did Kevin give it to you?
he did.
Yeah, look, you can see him in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like a hunting uniform. I did eat sperm and egg sack soup.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
On a survival challenge, because we got the alewife.
Yeah.
It's a crab bait, right? So it's completely full of bones. So until you smoke it for a long period of time, you can't really eat the alewife.
Okay.
You're not really supposed to. It's bait. So I took all of the eggs and all of the sperm, and I mixed them all together in a soup,
Yeah.
and it had a good balance of estrogen and testosterone. It was a hearty meal. Worst chopsticks ever. Yeah, I sucked that one in. No, it's actually good. Yeah, that's really good. You'll eat the eggs, but you won't eat the sperm. Salty caviar. That's the eggs again. The salty sperm. It's creamy in the middle. Oh, it's really creamy in the middle.
There you go. Dogs won't eat it, but Chris will.
How's that fish?
It's excellent. It's cooked perfect. It's crispy on the one side.
Sperm.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to test.
No? No sperm? Alright, here's our haul. We've got a pretty good sized one here. This guy came out of the net. We would have lost him, so there's a chance that there might be some fish on the bottom, but I doubt it. We were pretty careful about how we handled the net. Another medium here, and then we got 3 smaller sized ones, but those are the ones that were the hardest to catch. They really didn't want to swallow the hook too much. I also caught out 3, so that's 10, and I caught maybe 30 overall in the pond, so that's 40. So there's still like 100 fish left in that pond, which I suppose is possible. We still will grab them ice fishing, and probably continue to fish them out as we can before we turn the aerator off. We can let the aerator go right up until it freezes. Small ones I think can work. It does fan out, so probably can use a little bit of a wire to loop it around to get it more expanded, or just fish for it for different fish. Smaller size panfish I think would work really good. And as far as the traps, we'll have to test those later. For minnows, crawfish, that's a portable trap. We'll continue on that experiment. But I'm happy with this variety of gill net for sure. So if you guys want to invest in that, if it's legal in your area,